And we are live. What is up, everybody? Aaron the dog back with the maybe the only breakdown of the week. I'll have to check, but I'm pretty sure this is the only breakdown of the week. UFC Vegas 76. We're back in the Apex and headlined by Sean Strickland and Abus Magomedov. Uh, sure, it is the dog days of the UFC summer, and with me, as always, just my 2 cents. How you doing?
I'm good, man. As always, thank you very much for having me. It is great to be here. This card has contaminated my food and water supply, and I now have typhoid fever. But I feel like this breakdown could be just the remedy that I need. I'm very happy to be here. Shout out to the boys in the chat, and like I said, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, shout out to some good reads last week by just my 2 cents, not by me. Once again, fraud detector called out Mr. Onama, just like you drew it up, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, even a broken clock is right twice a day, right? So
You've been right a lot lately. I tried to tell you about Santos. I tried to tell you about Jillian. I tried to tell you, yeah, many.
Well, I appreciate it because I definitely have needed some kind of bright spots in my my betting world. But hopefully, it's another week of that, man.
Yeah, this is gonna be a tough card. What up, Justin, in the chat? Good to see you. Yeah, Clint took it kind of hard. Fuck Clint. I don't really care. So we got 12 fights. We're in the Apex. We're headlined by Sean Strickland and Abus Magomedov. And most of these lines are minus 200 or greater. So yeah, it's going to be a tough week. It's more trying to figure out and, spot where your trap is going to be at. Speaking of traps, this could be one of them. We start out at 155, Gurram Kudaladze against Elvis Brenner. And I'll probably say trap a lot on this card, 2 cents. I'll be honest, I get it. Every fight technically can be, but these fights just really do feel like it, especially with a guy like Elvis Brenner. So, Elvis Brenner, do you think he won his debut or not? What's your opinion?
I think Zubaira. I mean, I was on Zubaira, so I'm a little biased, but nah, I think Zubaira got robbed.
Yeah, but he ends up winning that fight, so he has to fight someone a little bit better. He was supposed to take on Jordan Levitt. Jordan Levitt pulls out of the fight. And in comes Gurram Kudaladze. So Elvis Brenner, very good pressure fighter. I know you watched him against Gabriel Santos. He had some good moments against there. Still a good performance. Obviously, Gabriel Santos coming up short, but I think Gabriel Santos still has a ton of potential in his career. And, in general, Elvis, likes to get it to the ground, likes to use his submissions. And he likes to crowd his opponent. Gurram Kudaladze, he likes the distance and he likes the kicking range. He likes the kicks. He's a kickboxer, very good power. Hasn't really shown it so far in the UFC. 2 split decisions. The Scamrot fight, I do think he won that fight, but it was very, very close. And then the Ismagulov fight, also very close, but Ismagulov did edge it out. I kind of trust what I've been promised with Gurram. I think this is the type of fight where he gets on track and gets a KO. However, I do think that, Elvis would kind of be a fool to just stand in the pocket and trade with Gurram Kudaladze. So I think he could make it very, very dirty. I don't see how he's getting him down and keeping him there. I think Gurram's pretty well-rounded defensively as well. Gamrot got him down a few times, but I think Elvis is not to that level. So I like Gurram. I like him by KO in this spot. The money line obviously is terrible. This could definitely be a very close fight where Brenner is in the second straight fight where he loses and wins. I mean, it's minus 625 for Gurram. I don't trust him to that level. So pretty much leaving it alone. I'm sure the KO is a shit price too.
Yeah, dude, I'm with you, man. First of all, I agree that this whole card just feels like a fucking minefield. It's like there's so many like potential trap spots. I'm with you. I hate the line, but I'm gonna go with Gurram as well. I think that Santos is not a bad loss at all. I think Gabriel Santos is a good fighter. I think Elvis Brenner is a good fighter. I do think that he lost the Zubaira fight, but the fact that they're giving him Zubaira right off the bat, like that's, he's decent. But I just think that Gurram is going to be just like hit a little bit harder, go to the grappling a little bit more. I'm not like I think what it's going to be is like Gurram's going to look like a minus 300, not so much like a minus 650 or whatever the fuck he is. But I'm going to pick Kutataladze to get it done, maybe finish him, but probably by decision.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, his price last week was minus 275. So it's just like absolutely skyrocketed. He's in everybody's parlays from last week, carrying over to this week, I guess. So he's like the Tierra of this week. So we'll see if the fight actually happens. Would not surprise me if it doesn't. I get it if anybody's taking a shot on Elvis, honestly. Plus 470. Why?
Right. Yeah, just the number alone is like tempting, but.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, I just passed. I think Gurram's the goods here. Elvis only 25 years old. Gurram 31, dealt with some injuries as well. So we shall see. 2 straight split decisions for him to start his career, though. It doesn't really make me too pumped to get behind him. All right, next fight. Ugh. We got the heavyweights. I mean, I'll give the UFC credit because this is a fight that has been a co-main event for some UFCs lately. They did the right thing. They made it the second from the bottom. Could have made it the bottom. Alexander Romanov versus Bugey Ivanov. Oh, my God. I mean, I think that everybody at this point is completely off of Alexander Romanov's hype train, and I get it. And in this spot, you basically are like, can Romanov get Ivanov out of there early? Or is Ivanov going to wear and tear on him for 3 rounds and win a decision? I honestly don't see how Alexander Romanov wins a decision. Like, I really don't. I think especially against a guy like Bugey Ivanov, I think he's got to get him down very early and keep the pressure on him and try to basically gas himself out to get the finish. What up, Patrick? Good to see you. Good to see the legend himself, Zhang Li. We appreciate you. Hopefully we can get you a parlay. It's been a couple of weeks, but it is what it is. This spot, I just don't think Romanov is serious at all about how he preps. I don't think he's got cardio. I don't think he's really very well-rounded either. Bugey Ivanov is like a Sambo world champion. He is very well-rounded. He's been stabbed in the chest. He's only, he's still in his 30s. What is it? How old is he? Is he 36? 36 according to, his birth certificate. So he's only 46 years old. But Romanov, I can't take him serious. I don't think that he, really is at all UFC level. The guys he was beating before the UFC were so much worse than Ivanov. And I don't see it for Romanov at all. So I got Bugey by the decision. I'm going to be a square.
God, I hate this fight, dude. It's
terrible.
It's not that it's like the lowest of levels skill-wise, but it's so greasy, dude. Like, yes, Romanov, I've been wanting to fade that dude for so long. And they were just giving him this, oh, God, he's getting a Vandera or a Bobo Sherman. It's like, man, of course he's going to smash them. But
Espino.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, of course he's going to run through these dudes.
But then Espino exposed him.
Yeah, he did. And everyone just forgot about it because he ended up he ended up getting the win. So it was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because he faked a nut shot at the end, so it went to a technical decision.
Right. He's like, okay, well, he's still got the record, right? He's still whatever. But the Tybura fight is obviously a little troubling. I'll give him a pass for getting knocked out by Volkov, but I agree that he is just not, he kind of been sold a bill of goods with Romanov. My problem is that I'm someone that is backed Bugey way more than I probably should have. And I'm just sick and tired of getting fucking burned by picking the dude. And I'm just I'm trying to talk myself into the Bugey side. I was tempted to bet him
I'm not betting him. I will
earlier
not
this
bet him.
day. I want to because it's Bugey is a dog. I think he's the better striker. He's probably got a little better cardio. He's
definitely the better striker. Definitely better cardio.
Absolutely. Oh, God, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm going to pick Romanov, and I'm actually going to pick him to win a decision. It's not something I feel very strong about, but let me make my case. Let me play devil's advocate. And it's not a strong case, but I'm just going to do it anyway for the show.
Yeah.
For the boys. So I looked at like their stats and like their like round by round stats. This is why I think Romanov can win a greasy split and what might even be considered like a robbery after the fact is because Bugey, like, he always has a big second round and then he dips off into the third. It's not like he doesn't throw anything, but like he always makes it a really close third round. And the dude always.
I love the split play on both sides here.
Yeah, no shit. That's a great
great play.
No shit.
I get about plus 450 or better on that.
Oh man, yeah, I like that a lot. I
like that.
I don't trust Bugey to not get screwed, and I don't trust Romanov to like really put if it goes into the third round and Romanov's still there, God, it's gonna be sloppy. It's so greasy, man. Like I'm totally staying away. I'm gonna pick Romanov and just I'm gonna be rooting for Bugey, but I've been fed too much Ivanov crow. So Romanov.
Split decision play is going to be my play at the end of the day here. I don't hate it at all on both sides.
Yeah.
Bugey is plus 120 now, so all the talk of the Bugey love and the money has come in on Romanov. So sharp money is on Romanov currently, and 2 cents. So sharp money and 2 cents is just guaranteed.
Dude, you know what a whale I am and how I sway the market.
That's right. 0.003 units coming down on the split decision play.
That's right.
All right. Joe Anderson Brito is coming to knock out Weston Wilson. I'm sorry. Weston Wilson sucks. Bad. Hangs his chin up high. Leaves it there. Anderson Brito is going to sleep him. First round knockout. Bet Anderson first round knockout. Bet him inside of 60 seconds if you have that, because it is worth the play. Weston Wilson, real bad.
Yeah, dude, I watched the tape and I was like, man, the two things that are sticking out to me that he does poorly are like Burrito's strengths. Like the dude, like it is incredibly easy to take him down, and my God, does he not move his head at all? And I'm like, okay, check. Burrito's chinning him. Yep, he's gonna spark him.
And I get it, he lost to Algio, but what Algio would do to Weston Wilson, Lord, trust me, Weston Wilson's not that guy, pal. They're just taking anybody into the UFC at this point, and it's getting bad.
Yeah, Brito left hook from the west side of the Mississippi River, you know.
Go watch Brito versus Chepe. It's probably going to be similar to that. Yeah, there's nothing else that has to be said about this. The under on this fight, the under 2.5 is like, let me see the price. I just had it a minute ago. I think it was like minus 255. If it's even a bit, yeah, minus 255 on the under 1.5. I mean, like, yeah, plus 800 on Weston Wilson, minus 1250 on Joe Anderson Brito. That's how bad Weston Wilson is. When he wins, congratulations. It's going to be the worst win since Michael Jackson won, if he wins. So
yeah, they're just like they're even telling you just don't bet Weston Wilson.
Don't do it. Don't you dare. I don't care if he wins. Don't do it. All right, next fight. Keep the circus going. Ivana Petrovic, the Aries champion, who had a real close split decision win with a Polish girl that I went back and watched earlier today. Beat some pretty low levels of competition, but she is good at the ground game, I would say, using her wrestling when she needs to. She's not going to mess with the stand-up here with Luana Carolina. I would not think. Luana Carolina only looks good when it's on the feet. When any other part of MMA becomes involved, she forgets how to do it or breaks her knee. And, yeah, Nora saying Wilson has a decent ground game. I remember when decent didn't get you to the UFC as often as it is. It's short notice. I don't care. If you want to bet Wilson, it's your $5. Luana Carolina obviously wants to keep this on the feet. She's going to be the bigger fighter, as she is most of the time at this division. Like, she looks good at when it's a kickboxing bout. It's just once it becomes not a kickboxing bout, I get concerned. I also like that Ivana knew about this fight for a while. She's been training in Las Vegas. I think she's going to be pretty ready for this spot. I know the price is really juiced here. I'm not really thinking about much other than the Zhongli, but Ivana is the better MMA fighter. And usually in these types of fights, most fights, I pick the fighter who's better at MMA, more well-rounded, whatever you want to say. Ivana's that. Octagon jitters aside, I don't think you get him against someone like Luana Carolina. So I'm going to say submission for Ivana Petrovic, but I could see the decision as well. She's in the Zhongli, though.
Dude, I love that you have Ivana in the Zhongli because I'm on the other side here. And I'm on the other side. I'm on Luana. It's not that I think Luana is incredible. She's obviously not. But it's an experience thing, and there is a big gap in the stand-up. And Ivana does not have a good chin. I've seen her hurt by some really not very good fighters, and I think Luana's gonna fuck her up and knock her out. And it's not like again, Luana is not incredible. She could get grapple fucked here, but she has pretty decent takedown defense. She does get taken down, but I don't know. It's against better competition than this chick. Luana has more UFC fights than this chick has fights, period. She almost has more wins than she has fights, period. And it's against nobody. So yeah, give me and dude, Luana has faced better wrestlers than this bitch too. She fucking fought off Lupe Godinez and she got taken down by her and managed to get back to the feet. And I don't know. I like Luana. At almost plus 200. Yeah, I actually bet Luana. She's going to be one of my only plays this week. But I love that Ivana is in the Zhongli. That's a nice little hedge.
Plus 185 right now,
Best
minus 215 for Ivana here. So Luana, good takedown defense, round 2 and 3, according to Moise. Draw for Moise. Maybe I spoke too soon, but I'm pretty sure Ivana's in the Zhongli. We'll see. I make it as we go. But yeah, she's in it as of now. For the fighters who I've talked about, yeah, she's in it as of now. I'll be honest.
Right on.
Next fight, we're going to keep it going with the stinkers in the women's division with 145 short notice. Carol Rosa taking on Yana Santos. Dude, I don't know. Here's the thing with Carol Rosa. She was kind of getting a little bit of hype for a minute there. And I thought that was kind of odd since she does give up takedowns pretty much at will. And it was going to catch up to her. It did catch up to her, turn Norma Dumont into Norma Division I Dumont. And Lena Landsberg going to a majority decision, getting wrestle-fucked by Sarah McMahon. In hindsight, very, very obvious. Yana Santos, she's about as good of a grappler and wrestler as a Norma Dumont, if I'm being honest. A little bit better on the feet. She lost her last 2 to high levels of competition. Either way, this is a rough one, man. It's not going to be a good fight. I could see it being another split decision candidate. I'll say Santos gets 2 of the 3 rounds with a little bit of wrestling and decent enough stand-up. Carol Rosa just not very good to me, and I don't rate her highly at all.
I hate it because I'm on the other side here. But
it's fine. It's been a while.
I don't like Carol Rosa either, and I would never bet Carol Rosa.
Nope.
My problem with Santos is that while Rosa's not incredible, she's a big girl and she does hit pretty hard. And frankly, Santos is a little bit of a quitter to me. She's gotten her ass beat by Aspen Ladd is a bad look. I think Rosa is a considerably better striker. But what bothers me and why I would never touch it is that Santos probably the better wrestler, and Rosa has shown some weird kind of fight IQ moments. I just have never thought much of Kunitskaya or Santos or whatever.
Look at all of Rosa's tape. She gets taken down at will.
Yeah, I don't like that. I I don't know, man. I'm not touching this fight, but I'm going to pick Hossa.
So this is one where I do the odds for all the fights before I look at the odds. And I had Santos as a minus like 120 or a pick 'em. She's at plus 140. I'm not betting it yet, but a little more money coming in on Hossa might make me bet it. Honestly, I think that Hossa is much better at coasting, but when her opponents force the fight to where they want it, she allows the fight to go there. I do not like that.
Yeah.
I think the 145 favors Santos over Hossa as well.
Yeah, I don't feel too strongly one way or the other about that.
Yeah, it's another split decision, honestly. This one and the Bugey one, I think you could get split decision bets because they're pretty similar fights in a lot of ways. Trash and dead divisions.
If Yana doesn't grapple, I can see Hossa kind of busting her up. Like
exactly. Oh, for sure. But why would she not?
Right.
Like she's got to grapple here.
Yeah.
It's very obvious, but we'll see. Speaking of grappling, we got the battle of the Muslims. Hanat Fakhretdinov said he left GFC or wherever he was at because he didn't want to fight Muslims. He refused to fight his Muslim Brotherhood, he said. Kevin Lee is a Muslim. Guess it's not Renat's kind of Muslim, so you can make that of what you will. But yeah, a little bit interesting there. Kevin Lee making his return to UFC after his huge stint in Eagle FC, where he took on the great Diego Sanchez. I don't really care. That fight was an exhibition, pretty much. Didn't look great in that fight at all. A little bit of a concern. Fakhretdinov has looked very good. He is gotten like 20 plus takedowns at this point. What he did to Brian Battle, I think, got reported to the police. He also did pretty similar things to Andre Michailidis. Dude's a pretty good wrestler, I'll be honest. Throws some wild strikes on the feet, and often they do land. I'll give him that. Has some good front chokes as well. I think that's more likely where this fight is going to be the advantage. Kevin Lee, really good jab. Terrible gas tank, however, and pretty unproven at 170, and just hasn't been fighting a lot lately. I don't think that's great. Hearing that he wasn't really familiar with who he was taking a fight against, not great. I get it might be tactics, but still, the Daniel Rodriguez fight, he was getting lit up on the feet as well pretty badly. There's some, I think, potential chin exposing that could happen at some point. That being said, I think Renat just uses the wrestling and goes to work against Kevin, wears him down. Each round, the takedowns will, I believe, get easier. I think Kevin could be very live early. He's a very good back taker as well. If he took the back and strangled him in the first round, it would not surprise me. But I think he's going to put it all into that first round and either survive to a decision or Renat could knock him out or, even submit him himself. I do like Renat here. I like, if you're betting Kevin, I think Kevin's live early only. Honestly, I think the longer this fight goes, the more the advantage goes for Renat. So I'll go for Renat. I wanted to get there on Kevin, though, man. I really did, but I don't know. He looks like he's in good shape. I'll give him that. He's fought the better level of competition between these guys, and having a few years off to kind of recoup after getting that, shot to the top the way he was isn't the worst thing either. So I think Kevin could make this close as well, but I think Renat pulls away. I wanted to get there on Kevin, though. I'm a Kevin Lee fan as well, so maybe that's part of it. But I'm not as high on Renat as the public seems to be.
Dude, I love your breakdown, and I feel very, very similarly. Renat has looked awesome, but, like, Battle's probably his best win. And it's like Kevin's fought a way higher level of competition for way longer, and he's only 30. And that was one thing that kind of made me do, like, a double take, like, because as soon as I said this, I've been pretty high on Renat. I love seeing him whoop the living shit out of Brian Battle. But, like, it just gives me a little pause where it's like, and if you like him to get it done, you're probably thinking to yourself, it's like a pretty good line. It's like under minus 200, or it was anyway. Like, I almost immediately just, like, blind bet Renat or parlayed him or whatever. But, like, I'm going to stay away. I'm gonna pick Renat to win, but like it, Kevin Lee seems to like fight to his level of competition sometimes.
I
Like
agree.
he'll sometimes it was not like this would be the first like dude that has a little bit of hype on him that Kevin Lee has like upset. So
Chiesa.
exactly, Chiesa, even Gregor Gillespie had a little bit of push on him. Although I don't,
Yeah.
I think Renat's better than Gillespie. Like I think he's more dangerous anyway. But and he's a good wrestler too, like you said. The red flags for Lee for me are still there. The fight IQ, the cockiness, and almost dismissiveness of his opponent, and the inactivity and like the last performance against Sanchez. But I don't think he's going to come in here looking as bad as he did against Diego. But I don't necessarily think he's going to win either. I'm just going to pick Fakhretdinov, but I don't know, man. Kevin Lee only being 30 and like some of his past performances are giving me just a little bit of pause, and I kind of just want to see a little bit more from Renat before I get crazy with it.
Yeah. No, I mean he was definitely counted out against Gillespie. Definitely pretty much counted out against Chiesa. Those are at 155. Robbie says who's he beat at 170. That's
True.
very true. Not to mention Renat was I believe the middleweight champion over in his old organization as well.
Yeah, so Renat's a big dude.
He's a big boy. Yeah, 31 as well. So, but Kevin had the big win over Mustayev, another Russian. So it's kind of counted on that one as well. So should be a good one. I'd love to see Kevin win from a fan perspective. If I'm being honest, I think it'd be really exciting to see him kind of back at 170. But we'll see. This is the first fight on the main card. Nursultan Rizabov versus Bruno Ferreira. I will say right now, Rizabov is a fraud. Ashkrabov level fraud, man. I don't like what I've seen in the wins. I think that going against a guy, letting a guy like Bruno Ferreira walk you down and test your chin to kind of survive to get the fight to where you want it to get some sort of gross submission is not happening here against Bruno. I think that Bruno gets his 11th first-round knockout in this fight. I was extremely impressed with what he did against RoboCop, and I don't think he slows down here against the fraud in Rizabov, who, I mean, he's sub or bust for me, obviously, and he'll probably bust his face before he gets to the sub. I'm not impressed.
Dude, I really wanted to get on the Nursultan fight, or on the Nursultan side. Sure. But the tape study, like the more I taped it, saw the highlight video, I'm like, okay, there's some good stuff here. But then I taped it a little bit more, and my take and my prediction for this fight though is like a little bit different than maybe like what might seem like the most obvious, which is like Bruno starching him. I do think he's gonna knock him out. But what I did like from, how do you pronounce his name? Rizabayev?
Yeah, Rizabayev.
What I did like from him, I actually like his stand-up. Like, offensively, I think he's a good striker. He's got some amateur kickboxing and boxing experience. And I actually think he can have success on the feet. And I actually think what's going to happen is Bruno's kind of wild, man. He's wild on the feet, and like I actually think that he's going to get tuned up a little bit. But Bruno, what I've seen from the tape is that when that does happen, when he does get stunned, he'll immediately go to the grappling, and all Ruzabayev does is he'll like accept the takedown to fucking pull Kimura or like try to put the dude in an armbar, and like
things that work against extremely low levels of competition
and smaller dudes like.
Right.
Bruno Ferreira is not the dude that he's just going to pull some strong man like submission on. Like he's going to be getting his face fucking Hulk smashed. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think Bruno's going to get tuned up on the feet a little bit, and then he's going to reactive double Nursultan, who's going to try and pull a Kimura, and then he's just going to get elbowed unconscious.
Yep.
Ground him.
I don't disagree. He is a tough guy, and he's only been knocked out once. So there is that argument that maybe a decision, but I just think there's levels to this.
I want to fade Bruno really badly. I just think
we will. It's not yet.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's yet at all. I like Bruno here. -200. I just think that people are seeing highlights and not truly digging into how this guy fights, because plus 170 is a joke on this guy. Askabov was a favorite over what's his name back when they fought. I'm blanking on Alonzo Menafield. And everybody was on. It's just you got to look into the fights and who they're against and how he's doing them. So I don't like Nurse Alton. Maybe I'll be eating crow on a couple fighters next week, but probably not.
I think he's live on the feet, but I just don't like the grappling defense is really troubling.
Yeah, I agree. All right, next fight. Really good fight. At 155, Benoit Saint Denis taking on Ismail Bonfim, one of the Bonfim brothers. Had obviously the highlight reel knockout over Terrence McKinney that we were all on here. So not really a surprise at all. Benoit Saint Denis, on the other hand, very, very tough. Took a beating, obviously, in his UFC debut against Lipsky dos Santos. Took a good amount of time off and then came back against Nicholas Stoltz. Used the ground and pound and used the grappling to get the submission, second round submission. Then took on Gabriel Bruno Miranda and knocked him out second round. Pretty impressive, honestly. For Benoit. But I think in a fight like this, he's obviously going to be going with the grappling for the most part. It will be interesting to me to see how Ismail, starts in this fight. I think he typically is kind of a slow starter, not like his brother who really comes out and goes for the finish early. So I think that could really pay off. I think Ismail has very good jiu-jitsu. But I don't think that he should be engaging in this fight. I think this fight's super close, though. I'll be honest. This is definitely one of the two fights. This is one of the two fights that I definitely, feel like could be a real potential trap on this card, just because of where the line's at. I think it has the potential to be a very close fight. I think Benoit is super tough as well. Ismail being able to finish him would be extremely impressive. He has much better defense than someone like Terrence McKinney, much better gas. He's more well-rounded. So I do think this is a, tougher fight for him, and a tougher fight than most people realize. But I do like Ismail Bonfim. I think he gets the decision. I think he works the boxing very well, stays at a distance, and, eventually gets it to where Benoit is telegraphing the takedowns. Maybe he'll turn it up later to get the finish. But, yeah, for me, I like Ismail in this one by decision. I think he's just superior on the feet, better impact strikes, and I don't think Benoit gets it to the ground where he needs it. But I am worried if he gets it to the ground that Ismail is too confident in jiu-jitsu and keeps it there for too long, like a lot of these Brazilians, particularly from LFA, have been doing. So be interested to see if his success ends up kind of biting him here. But I don't think it will. I think Ismail gets it done on the feet and wins a decision.
I like Ismail as well. I really wanted to get on the Benoit Saint Denis side because I think he's a guy that does kind of get a little underrated and overhated just a little bit. Like I don't necessarily think he's the next coming or anything, but he's a tough fighter, like you said. Everyone knows he's a ex-French Special Forces soldier. He does have a lot of heart and dog in him, and he's a good grappler. But I don't know, man. I went back and watched that Zaleski fight. I think Ismail might knock this dude out. I think he could be the one. Like I'm not like the most confident in it, but I'm gonna pick Ismail, and I'm probably gonna pick him by like second or third round knockout. You mentioned about him having pretty good like pace and cardio, like pacing himself well and having, carrying his power. I think I'm seeing a second or third round knockout for Bonfim. But it wouldn't surprise me if Saint Denis grapple fucks him. Like I'm hoping that it's more the mindset from Bonfim is more sprawl and brawl and not like go like look for submissions from his guard or like try and sweep. I hope he just like does what he can to keep it standing. And I think if it is standing, I think he's way cleaner. Like Benoit is tough and he hits pretty hard, but his defense is pretty bad, and he hangs his chin out there and really like wings punches and telegraphs sometimes, and Bonfim is way cleaner with the hands.
Yeah. I don't hate the over 1.5 at -180 instead of the -305 play on Bonfim as well. Because I do think if he gets it done later in the second or third round. And it covers the decision on both ends there. So
I like how am I imagining that he like stuffed McKinney's takedowns? Did McKinney try and take him down?
Yeah, McKinney a little bit.
He was wasn't he kind of like
he was already kind of gassed. It's McKinney. Yeah. So Bonfim -305. What up, Miss Devil? Good to see it in the chat. And plus 255 on Benoit Saint Denis. That is a tempting dog, but
dude, it is.
I mean, I gotta stay strong with the Bonfim brothers, but I think some people are kind of falsifying how Ismail is the killer early. That's Gabriel. Gabriel Bonfim is going for the kill from the jump. Ismail is much more methodical, willing to go to decisions more often, has the professional boxing experience as well, so it's got good pace and cardio. This next fight, all the women's fights on this card are just circus fights to me. Ariana Lipsky, Queen of Violence, taking on Melissa Gatto. I'll give Moist audio credit. I don't know if you saw the picture earlier, but can't really get the picture of Gatto's knuckles out of my head because it's tough to unsee that. So it looked like she had a broken hand or some sort of injury to her. I believe her left hand. I do think that it's going to make this fight much more difficult for her to get into her range, and she is good on the ground. Ariana Lipsky has shown to have some issues on the ground before as well. I think on the feet, though, Ariana Lipsky has a slight edge. Gatto is kind of tricky with her kicks and can keep it close as well. This is just another one. I'm not looking to get too far behind. I took the dog in Lipsky here just based on the injury and based on if this fight doesn't hit the ground. I do think Lipsky lands the more impactful shots, has better chance of winning the judges over. But I think this goes to decision, another split decision candidate. There's like 3 or 4 on this card, as there are on most cards at this point. So I'll take the dog in Lipsky. She's like plus 180 if she's plus 200, maybe.
Yeah, that
plus 185.
That's not bad. That's very tempting, dude. And I'll echo what you said about Moyes. Like, that's very concerning, the picture that he put in the dome. And like, man, it's not that I think Gatto is like just levels above Ariana. I just think she's a little bit better, like a little bit better of a grappler. Little bit. I mean, Lipsky's more, I guess she's more like vicious, but like I think Gatto's a little bit cleaner, maybe. I don't know, man. This is a greasy fight. Nothing to do with it. Gonna pick Gatto, but Lipsky is super live, and I might be tempted to flip to the other side here, but not one I feel too strongly about. Just it's gonna be greasy. I do agree it'll probably go to decision, and no, thank you.
Yep, minus 140 on the over 2.5 as well. Plus 185 on Lipsky. I'm good. Moving on to the next one. It's just one of those cards, man. They're going through the motions on this card, and it does feel that way. But the last couple fights, pretty good fights, starting with Max Griffin versus Michael Morales. Huge Michael Morales fan. But I got to be honest, there's been things to worry about in his Contender Series fight, in his fight against Giles, his fight against Fugit, all of his fights, honestly. There's been moments where he's just had, he's gotten caught with some pretty hard right hands. Max Griffin throws some pretty good right hands. The Fugit fight, he lost that first round, had to really come back and showed, the strength and resilience late. But, had to land some pretty precise shots against Giles after getting, landed on himself. And Griffin says he won a split decision last time against Means. Go back and watch that fight. He very clearly won the fight. Probably won all 3 rounds, so I don't really see where the split decision was. Caught Means quite a bit in that fight as well, along southpaw, and Means obviously much older than Morales. Morales has been off for a while, was supposed to face Hanat, Figueroa. I think that would have been an exposing point for Morales, if I'm being honest. He's very, very young. I think he's going to have some moments where he kind of falls. He's still only 24 years old. I don't like that he's taken all this time off and comes back with all these new tattoos and everything. Really seems like a stupid thing to criticize, but at the same point, like, I don't know where this kid's head at compared to a 37-year-old in Max Griffin, who honestly, he beat Neil Magny, my boy, Neil Magny. I think he beat him, dropped Neil Magny in that fight. He's dropped like 3 of his last 4 opponents. Like, he has serious power. Michael Morales has been dropped by worse guys. I think Max Griffin is willing to go to the wrestling and grappling late and win a dirty decision as well. I love Michael Morales, man. I can't get behind him at this price. Plus 220 on Max Griffin. This could be a passing of the torch. Michael Morales might come out and starch him. I hope that happens, but I can't get away from it. I got Max Griffin by decision, man. And I think this line is just way off. And if Max Griffin doesn't have a split decision against Means in his last fight and gets the nod on the split decision against Neil Magny, I'm kind of curious where people's rating is of Max Griffin. I just think he's going to be more focused and more willing to do what he has to do to win the fight, even if Morales is the more dangerous guy at this point. So I got Max Griffin by decision. I hope I'm wrong, but I got him by decision.
Well, my dude, I'm going to follow suit. I am not as high on Michael Morales, and I'm worried about that because I'm getting the same feelings that I did last time, where it's like, man, he's going to get exposed. He's going to get exposed. He's going to get exposed, and it just like doesn't happen. You look at Griffin's losses, he doesn't get finished a ton. It's a lot of split decisions, and yeah, some of them aren't, like the Millender isn't a great look, but yeah, dude, lately he's looked pretty good. And I agree, like if he gets he won the Magny fight. He did. Like, he dropped Magny. He outstruck him. Like, I don't know. He kind of got jobbed there. He clearly won the Means fight. Yeah, man. It worries me a little bit because Griffin seems to be a popular dog, but he's also still like a pretty decent favorite. I guess it must just be money, like, coming in on Morales. I guess I'm sure people are high on him. There's a lot to like, but yes, I have some of the same concerns. Like, he's showing some like potential chinks in the armor against some dudes that, frankly, just.
But But here's the counterpoint. He's 23 years old the last time he fought. Now he's 24. If he's spending all this time getting better at the things he's bad at, which is mostly defensive wrestling, I think he knows that at this point. So he's out of a very good camp. Looks to be in good shape. He could come out here and Max Griffin's been stopped before. He could definitely stop Max Griffin. Max Griffin's almost 38 years old.
It's true. And that's why I'm very tempted to
13-year age, almost a 14-year age difference.
It's the age difference. And yeah, like you said, Morales could be getting better. And I'm just, I haven't had the best luck fading him. And I just don't know if I'm going to take the risk here. I just probably just going to pass. Like, kind of seems like Griffin or pass. And
I'm going to pass at this point, and I'm going Morales by decision. Fuck it. I'm not betting this fight. I've decided this. And kind of how you mentioned how the line isn't moving towards Griffin at all is like what's most suspect to me.
Everyone's saying Griffin, mm-hmm. And it's just not moving.
Right.
It's weird.
But no, I'm on Morales by decision. Very uncertain, and yeah, it's not in the Zhongli parlay, which I cannot believe. But it's the first time I think Morales was ever not in the Zhongli parlay for me. But either way, I think it's going to be a good fight. If Morales comes out and knocks him out early, we don't learn as much as if I think he wins a decision. So I'd be curious to see just for the development, but we'll see. Co-main event time: Damir Ismagulov versus Grant Dawson. If Grant Dawson was had a different last name, I swear to God he'd be a favorite for this fight. This is one that I didn't get why he was a dog. Once I lined it, do you think he should have been a dog at open? Just that doesn't have to tip your pick. I'm just curious.
I'm trying to remember. I can't look at my notes without dropping out of the screen.
No, it's fine.
No, I think I had written down like potential like play on Dawson. Like I think that I actually had Dawson lined as the slight favorite.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel about this fight. Demir used the R word. He wanted to retire after the Arman Sarukian fight. He has one fight left on his contract, and he wanted to rematch Arman Sarukian after he lost 30-27 to him and gave up 7 takedowns. 7 of 21, though. So he did stop 14 of the takedowns. Um, I think that Grant Dawson is very, very, confident in getting the fight to where he needs to. But the other thing is, that I think that with Damir Ismagulov, he can get into a complete kind of zone in this fight where if he's defending those takedowns well, he's sticking and moving, he'll win a decision. I just don't believe that Damir has that drive that he once, kind of had. I think the retirement at 32 is not a good sign at all. I think that Grant Dawson is getting better on the feet. I think that moving down to Florida definitely has been good for him as well. For me, I think that Grant Dawson gets him down, maybe gets, just backpacks him. I don't see him necessarily finishing him, but I could see him just kind of getting that position. Sterling kind of grappling for, Dawson here, where he just keeps in the position, stays safe, wins a decision. And kind of curious to see the drive for Damir to get out of the uncomfortable spots, or if he kind of gives into, a finish and it's just there for a paycheck. We've seen that a lot. And again, I don't know how motivated he is to fight Grant Dawson on the last fight of his contract. So I don't like any of that. I got Grant Dawson at plus 120. I think that he, has good enough stand-up. I like the teeps he throws as well. I think those are kind of one of the strikes of his I really like particularly, but good power. And I think that he definitely can get the wrestling and keep it there for the fight, get a decision. Hard for me to pick the finish after seeing Arman not be able to do it, but if he did, that definitely would be a statement. Grant Dawson by square decision for me. I got him at plus 120 on the money line a couple days ago.
I like it. So I went from being like, whoa, I might bet Dawson to like, I don't know, man. Like Demir's like pretty good on the feet, blah, blah, blah. And then I heard the R word talk, and then that was it for me, dude. I can't like the retiring, unretiring. Oh, I'm not retired, but I'm definitely going to retire after this fight. Nah, dude. That
wasn't like a publicity retirement either.
Right.
He lives in fucking Kazakhstan.
Right. It's weird.
Or Russia, sorry.
I get wanting the rematch, but you definitely don't fucking deserve a rematch. It's that, not just that, but like it is the retirement talk a little bit. And it's also that like Dawson, I just trust him a little bit more. If he sees Damir having success, he will turn into a wrestling rat. And Dawson is heavy on top.
He grabs those legs quick too, man.
He laces them up. He'll look to like grab the wrist, and man, his ground and pound is kind of filthy. Mm-hmm. He has nasty, powerful ground and pound, and he's really dangerous. He's a dangerous submission grappler. So I like Dawson with the grappling. Yeah, decision maybe gets a finish, but yeah, I don't know, man. Damir, the retirement talk, and like I don't know. I've never like. It's not that he's bad. He's a good fighter. He's clearly a good fighter, but yeah, at 30, if you're talking about retirement at 32, it's just something just isn't. Something just ain't stirring the Kool-Aid, and I'm just gonna go with Dawson.
No, I like it. I could see him, coming out and putting on a kickboxing clinic. I could see Dawson coming out and putting on a wrestling clinic. Both sides, I definitely think are justified, but I took the plus money on Dawson. I took the bait because I just didn't think he should have been a dog. I really don't.
That's great. That's a great line.
Yeah. So minus 105 now, minus 115 to Damir. So I could see Dawson being the favorite by fight night. We're in the main event. Sean Strickland taking on Abus Magomedov. 26-5 versus 25-4. So I will say this, two very, very high quality middleweight records. Abus hasn't really had a great UFC run so far. I mean, he beat Dustin Stolfus in 19 seconds. That's it. That's his first fight since 2020. He got starched by Luis Taylor back in 2018 in 33 seconds. He went to a draw with Umatalov. Do you remember Umatalov? Ghassan? Not a great fighter either. So he hasn't really beat a great level of competition. He's been out for a long time, had a lot of cancellations for a lot of different reasons. He's had Gerald Meerschaert booked several times and avoided him. Was supposed to take on Miradov. Miradov had to pull out. So he's had some bad luck, and now he's going into a 5-round main event with Sean Strickland. I just don't understand really why. I've gone back and watched, the older tape on him. I obviously watched the 19 seconds of him in the UFC. It's just not enough for me to trust him against someone like Sean Strickland, who likes to extend the fight out to punish his opponent. I think with each round as this goes, Abus is going to be exhausted. He hasn't been tested in 5 rounds since at least 2016. And honestly, I just don't really rate a win over Stolfus that highly. Talk about the levels in competition these guys have been taken on. The Ivanov fight showed me everything I really need to see out of Sean Strickland, as did the Jerry Cannonier fight. 2 really good performances, honestly. You just look at who he's been facing. There's just no competition here. And I don't understand this line other than the mystery and the shiny object of Abus and him having a Magomedov name. But I'll take Sean Strickland. I do think he gets a late KO, though. I see a lot of love on the decision. I like playing the 3, 4, 5 KO lines, maybe splitting it over those 3, because I do think that he can pressure and kind of make Abus quit. I just can't get past what Luis Taylor's done to him. And honestly, Abus I'm not sold on him at all. He's only had 1 fight in the States at this point. Well, did he have 1 fight in the States? Hold on. Was the Stolfus fight, was that the Apex?
Yes.
Okay. So he's had 1 fight in the Apex, and obviously it lasted 19 seconds. But still, I want to have it proved a little more. His other fight in the States was against Luis Taylor, and he got knocked out really quickly. So I know what I'm getting with Sean Strickland. I believe the level of competition. I think he's better in, pretty much all facets that this fight's going to take place in, and especially in the cardio.
Dude, I couldn't agree more, and I'm actually on the same side and method. I did lie, though. The Stoltzfus fight was in Paris. Paris, I forgot.
Okay, so this is his U.S. debut.
Oh, shit. Well, yeah, that's just another thing to just throw in the hat on the Strickland side. Yeah, this is it's a weird
UFC U.S. debut. He U.S. with PFL as well. So he's only been over here 1 other time, and he got knocked out real quick, and it wasn't with USADA.
This main event is just kind of like a reflection of the entire card, where it's just like a weird, maybe not the entire card, because a lot of it is like prospect versus prospect kind of stuff. But like Abus is 32, like you said. He has a decent record, like the numbers. He has way more wins than losses, but the losses are not really to like great competition, like you said. And I'm sorry, I don't like him just getting 1 punch by Luis Taylor. It's not good. And like, I'm trying to think of what it is, like why he's the favorite. Like, yeah, he looked good against Dustin, but like, is it the Sadabu C, like that he has a win over him and he just like, I know that Sadabu just got that crazy win over, but it's like against Shane fucking Mitchell. Like it's right. Sadabu C's a jobber, and so I think Abus kind of is too. This is like to go from fucking Stoltzfus to Strickland, and I think he breaks him too, man. I think that Abus looks good early, maybe even like rock Strickland. Strickland's tough though. Like I don't think this dude is not Poetan, and I think that Strickland wears him down. Like maybe even takes him down, ground and pound, choke him out, something. But I see a late finish for Strickland as well, like round 4, round 5. I think this is a levels fight, and Strickland just turns him away.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Over 3.5 is at -145. Strickland's at -150, so I'm just taking Strickland. at this point, and he is the concluding of the Zhongli. But yeah, this card, greasy. I agree with any dog you're taking on this card, other than a few that are just there's one that I can't get behind. It's Weston Wilson. Sorry, can't get behind him. But any other dog, if you're taking them, I can understand it. Real quick, Zhongli parlay, which is at plus 850 this week. Sorry, I am a square this week. I'm taking Ivana. She did survive to make the Zhongli parlay at minus 210. Gross. The minus 200 Bruno Ferreira, throwing him in there. Minus 305 Bonfim. Minus 105 Dawson. So it would have been a little better a few days ago. And minus 150 Strickland. Plus 850 on the Zhongli parlay this week. Cash is cash. Put $20 on it if you want, or don't. It's all good. But either way, $20 gets you about 180, 190. So we shall see. But 2 cents. Any spots you particularly like, or any concluding thoughts before we sign off for this Dirty Dozen on UFC 76?
Well, first and foremost, thank you very much for having me on. This has definitely helped me feel better about this card. Right now, I only have one play. I'd have to pull up the odds. I don't have them right in front of me, but I only have one play so far, and it's dude. I was gonna pass on this whole card because it's so greasy. I was gonna kick back and watch it, but I just couldn't help myself. I had to just turn into a little degenerate. But I do have a parlay. It's my. I have to put a little something on the John Lee parlay for the culture, but other than that, this is my only play, and it's my favorite underdog and my favorite. It's Luana, Carolina, and Strickland. It's like, I forget what the odds are exactly, like +4 something.
Nice.
Yeah, betting almost a unit to win over 4. So that's all I got right now. But I'm not recommending that anybody tail that, because that is not usually how you put parlays together, and it's low-level women's MMA, and yeah, I wouldn't do it. But that's all I got. But dude, thanks again for having me. Best of luck to you and everyone in the chat, and yeah, rock and roll. Best of luck, everyone.
Yep, good luck, everybody. That will do it for the UFC Vegas 76 show. Thank you to Miss Devil, Banana and Grapes. By the way, no, I did not see the tape on his last loss, but Marashenko, I would assume, would be wrestling issues if I was being regionally racist. But appreciate you, Lobby, and appreciate you, just my 2 cents. Thank you. We will be back next week, because they're back every week till like September, because they got a quota to fill. So we'll see you next week for whatever cards next week. I'm afraid to look ahead at this point, but thank you in all seriousness. Just my 2 cents. Check him out on Friday. You doing the ceremonial?
I'm sorry. I'm glad you brought that up. I will not be doing the weigh-in show Friday. I will be on the road. Got a house sit for a little bit for the next couple weeks. So yeah,
this card doesn't deserve that anyways.
Right. Yeah. So it's not a bad one to take off. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks. But the dog days continue. But until next week, we'll see you next Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Everybody, thank you for the support. Peace out.